When I was 17, my long-lost sister came back. The one who returned was someone with leukemia, living off my blood like a leech. She used her leukemia to become a famous inspirational live streamer, using moral blackmail to push me into the spotlight, and killed me metaphorically with a scalpel. Returning to the day my sister came home, I saw a fragile, helpless, yet endearingly cute sister. Dad, Mom, does sister not like me? Maybe I shouldn't come home then. I don't want to upset sister. I patted her head affectionately. Whoever comes home, they're the best. A sharp pain shot through my arms, and I saw them once again with needles stuck in them. I ripped the needles out and grabbed my backpack, desperately wanting to flee the hospital. All I could think about was, I'm not going to be my sister's blood supply machine. Where are you going? You need to give blood to your sister this afternoon, my dad said coldly, eyeing my backpack. I won't. She's faking it. She doesn't have leukemia, I screamed at him. As the older sister, you should know better. Resistance was futile. That afternoon, my parents forced me into the blood drawing room again. The needle pierced my skin, and my blood flowed slowly through the tube, resembling a bloody worm. She's a blood-sucking demon. As I watched the crimson liquid fill up, I slowly lost consciousness. When I woke up, my best friend was on the phone. Oh my God, Linda, you have to check the trending topics. Despite the pain in my arm, I scrolled through the trending news. Ava had posted a picture of her neck with bruises, adding, maybe my sister is afraid of the pain and doesn't want to give me blood. But Ava will stay strong and hope for a better tomorrow. Oh God, Ava's so pitiful. How can her sister do that? I can't believe there's a sister who'd let her die. So selfish. That leukemia should have transferred to her. We need to avenge Ava. Let's storm her school and show everyone her evil face. Robert appeared at the door. He was like my last hope. Robert, you believe me, right? Help me get out of here. He touched my forehead, his expression darkening, before grabbing my neck, and said with a sinister look, you hurt Ava. And now she's my ticket to the entertainment industry. All my support crumbled, and I collapsed on the hospital bed. Ava emerged from behind Robert with a scalpel. The sight in the room turned bloody. The blade sliced across my arm repeatedly, and my blood sprayed out. Ava's previous words echoed in my ears. Only one of us can stay. I was filled with despair, waiting for that final cut on my neck. Linda, you don't need to pack anything to be my most beautiful daughter. My mom entered the room, holding a birthday cake with a smile. I took the gift from her hands, forcing a smile. Yes, it's been a month since I came back to being 17. In the same year they brought Ava back. Recalling the tragic past life, I swore I wouldn't let Ava step into our home. Not even for a minute. She won't have the chance to fake leukemia for followers or our parents' affection. In my last life, I wished I could peel off her skin, eat her flesh, drink her blood. The best revenge now is to take her path and leave her nowhere to go. With a hopeful smile for the future, I blew out the candles on my 17th birthday cake. Walking on the road to the orphanage again, thinking of my old self's hopes and joy. It seems laughable now. In my past life, my parents and I had been in such a hurry. We arrived at the orphanage early. I stumbled upon Ava bullying another girl on my way to the bathroom. She cried and held my hand, claiming innocence, recounting her own pitiful experiences at the orphanage. Back then, I was furious and defended her. Returning to this life, dear sister, consider this my first gift to you. I tugged at my mom's hand, feigning innocence. Mom, Linda's feeling nervous and wants to go to the bathroom. Mom held my hand, and we walked toward the bathroom. I heard the sister has a good character. I wonder if she gets bullied at the orphanage, I said with feigned worry. Linda really cares about her sister, my mom said with a look of pride. A scream interrupted our conversation. I dragged Mom into a corner to peek. Just like the last life, Ava was stomping on another girl's leg, showing no mercy. Legs made for dancing are different, right? Otherwise, how could she take my spot? The girl fainted from the pain, the leg bruised beyond recovery anytime soon. Ava looked up smugly, spotting us. Ava, my mom cried out in shock. Ava panicked quickly, tears welling up. Mommy. She threw herself at my mom's feet, sobbing, Mom, you're finally here to get me. I've been suffering so much in the orphanage. Today, I was just warning her because they'd torture your daughter otherwise. Watching the mother and daughter cry, I smirked. A momentary, surprised look flashed in my mom's eyes. A seed was planted. This was only the beginning. After handling the paperwork, my parents took us to a luxurious restaurant they had already booked. Ava, seated next to me, held hands with my parents. Ava, we finally found you. You really have had it tough. She gently wiped her eyes. I never want to return to that dreadful orphanage. Everyone bullies me. My parents seemed even more compassionate. We and your sister will take good care of you and not let you suffer anymore. Indeed, the night they first brought Ava home, she whined and whined until she moved into my master bedroom, unfairly pushing me into the guest room. This time around, not only will she never get my bedroom, but she will never even step into this house. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Ava about to pull out that one crucial piece of paper, a leukemia diagnosis certificate that decided our fates. And just like that, the wheel of destiny began to turn again. This time I grabbed her hand tightly. Mom, Dad, I've thought it over. I decided to tell you guys. I quickly pulled out the same leukemia test result from my backpack, looking at them with a sorrowful expression. The doctor says I have a potential leukemia issue. I'll need to receive blood transfusions now and then, and only my sister's blood type matches. This might mean drawing blood every few months. Before bringing Ava back, I found the doctor who took bribes for fake reports last lifetime. He hadn't changed a bit, and even gave me a stamp the report didn't have last time when I raised the price. Ava looked at the genuine report and instantly frowned, staring at me in shock. Sis, you don't mind giving blood every few months, do you? I gently held her cold hand with a tender expression. Ava, how does it feel to switch roles? She abruptly stood up, knocking the glass of water off the table. Mom, Dad, I don't want to be her blood bank. Ava, sweetie, your sister said it's just once every few months. It won't be a big deal. But she crumpled the report in her hand and glared at me venomously. I leaned closer to her ear. Sis, are you sure you want to come back home? Because at home, I have 1,000 ways to make you give me blood every day. She looked at me incredulous. You can try all you want. I knew exactly how icy my gaze was now. Ava's lips turned pale, her eyes filled with resentment. Mom, Dad, I've thought about it. I better stay off campus for now. Coming home suddenly, I'm worried I won't adapt, which could affect my college entrance exams. Mom and Dad nodded in agreement. Truly a sensible daughter of the Wilson family. So it's settled. If you come home, you're like a little puppy, okay, dear sister? Since telling Mom and Dad I had leukemia, they weren't overly happy about Ava's return. I finally realized playing the sympathy card might not be bad. Plus, it's the best way to counter Ava after rebirth. To establish oneself in the Wilson family, you need a bit of acting skill. Concerned for my health, Mom and Dad didn't visit Ava, who lived off campus, even though they bought her a luxurious apartment. Compared to the Wilson family mansion and millions in assets, could Ava really be content with a bit? Mom, Dad, it's been a week since Sis has been living alone off campus. I can't stop worrying. Ava stayed away from the Wilson family home for a week. There must be something fishy going on. Mom gently took my hand. Linda always knows what to do. I looked at the previous medical report for a moment and tucked it into my backpack. After a week, it's time for Sis to give some blood. Mom, Dad, I miss you guys so much. I'm so scared living here alone. The moment I entered, I saw Ava with teary eyes hugging Dad. Her hair was disheveled, her foundation pale, looking like she had been bullied. Seeing her, Dad's heart ached. We didn't stop you from coming home. You said it could affect your exams. That's why we let you stay outside. Right, that's exactly what you said. Are you going to go back on your word? I looked at her mockingly. Dad, being the chairman of the Wilson family business, hates it most when people break their word and go back on promises. Since you've said those words, dear sister, you might really have to wait another year to come back. Hearing this, Ava looked like a cat whose tail got stepped on, her eyes filled with the desire to strangle me on the spot. She hurriedly grabbed a report from her side of the sofa and slammed it on my face. Another report showing breast cancer from someone else. Mom, Dad, I went to the hospital where my sister gets diagnosed. That doctor is famous for issuing fake reports for money. She looked at me provocatively, her face determined to win this time. So she's been playing nice all week, just to check my report. Seeing the pale look on my face, Ava smiled triumphantly as Mom and Dad looked at me with complex expressions and reached for Dad's hand. Dad, don't be mad. I'm sure Sis didn't mean to deceive you. Isn't it nice if she's really okay? But Sis isn't tricking them like this against Dad's values of honesty? How can you take over the Wilson family business this way? Clutching my chest with difficulty, I looked like I was struggling to breathe. Seeing me, Dad immediately shook off Ava's hand. What nonsense are you saying? We took your sister to the best hospital in the city last week. The doctor said she shouldn't be too stressed. Hearing this, Ava couldn't maintain her smile anymore, looking at me with a hideous expression. No, impossible. How is it impossible? Thanks to you last lifetime, I was diagnosed with potential leukemia from constant fainting due to giving you blood. And before I could investigate further, you killed me. If I hadn't been reborn worrying about my health, I wouldn't have known I really had early-stage leukemia. Silently, I looked at Ava. Heaven is fair. Since I wasted so much blood on you last time, this lifetime, you'll pay it back slowly. Seeing Ava's face contorted with anger, I looked at her with a pained expression. I never thought you'd think of me like that, sister. I pretended to faint into Mom's arms as soon as I finished speaking. Mom and Dad panicked and spoke in an indisputable tone. Call an ambulance. Ava, come with us to the hospital and give blood to your sister. As the needle was inserted into my arm, I instinctively flinched. Dad, let go of me. I don't want to give blood. Ava screamed hysterically from down the hallway. Linda, she's lying to you. I don't want to be her permanent blood bank. The loud slap quieted her down. You will give blood to your sister, as long as you're a daughter of the Wilson family. Last life, my mom used moral coercion to trick me into giving her blood, while I was completely manipulated by Ava. Now the tables have turned, and it's her turn. The next morning, I accompanied my mom with prepared pig liver into Ava's hospital room. The dim room was filled with the scent of disinfectant and a faint trace of blood. The lights flipped on, and Ava's arm was covered in bruises. It was clear she'd struggled while getting her blood drawn. I gently touched her arm and discreetly pinched it where my mom couldn't see. Hey sis, eat some of Mom's pig liver, I said. Gotta get your strength up to head back to the Wilsons. I tried not to gag at the awful smell. Ava, you're such a good daughter to the Wilson family, my mom said as she handed Ava a container. Giving your sister a little blood every few months isn't a big deal. Her voice was soothing, just like she used to speak to me in the past life. Ava shoved the liver into her mouth with a grim expression. I adjusted my hair and chuckled. Mom, next time don't cook it so much. The doctor said the fresher the better. Things went exactly as I planned after that. I joined a motivational essay competition on a popular online forum and gained a bunch of followers. Unlike Ava's sob story live streams from last life, I focused on raising funds for disabled and gravely ill people. I got a second chance not just for revenge, but to use my power to help those struggling like I once did. I knew how it felt to have no help. It wasn't long before school started. No surprise, Dad placed Ava in my class. Linda, that's your sister, right? Someone said. She came in bragging about being the second miss of the Wilsons. So full of herself. Ava flaunted her designer bag with obvious greed. See this? She said. It's a limited edition from France that not just anyone can get. She glanced at my regular canvas bag with disdain. Wow, Ava, your mom really favors you, some girls sneered. It's obvious you're uncultured. This bag isn't even their latest edition. No big deal, I said. What do you mean, haven't returned to the Wilson family? A girl asked. Ava looked like she'd been hit a nerve, and she swiped at me. You lying brat. What are you talking about? Suddenly, a figure appeared at the door and stepped between us. He pushed Ava away and turned to me. Oh, it's Robert, I thought. Linda, are you okay? I was so worried about you, he said, concern all over his face. In my last life, it was this very face that choked me for supposedly hurting Ava. And just watched as Ava killed me. In this life, every single one of you will pay for the old Linda's death. That afternoon, an old memory hit me in a dream. Linda, come on, eat some liver. You have to recover, Mom said. carrying an enormous bowl of it into my hospital room. "Mom, I don't want any more liver," I replied. Her face turned sour. "How can you say that? If you don't eat enough liver, you won't have the strength to donate blood to your sister this afternoon," she said. As my eyes filled with tears, she patted my head. "Linda, you're the older sister. You can't just let your siblings suffer." She always worried more about Ava's health, cooking me liver, a blood booster, without much thought if it was even fully cooked. After eating, I'd sneak to the hospital bathroom to vomit it up. The place was deserted, except for a locked stall. Suddenly the toilet flushed. Maybe they flushed too hard, as the water rushed, revealing a strange reddish stain. Terrified, I went to knock on the door, but it swung open. "Sis," I shouted. I couldn't believe my eyes. She was holding a massive container, with residual blood lining it. She lifted the cup with the remaining thick blood, distaste evident in her eyes, and let it drip in front of me. "Sister, your blood, it's really fresh," she said. My mind exploded like a red firework. All those times donating blood, just to have her pouring it down the toilet. "Are you crazy? Without my blood, you can't survive." I grabbed her wrist. Ava laughed. "Dear sister, see me standing here just fine?" Sliding her fingers under my shirt, she pressed hard on my wounds, the needle marks covering my arms. Looking at those marks, I never once complained. She was my sister, and family unity mattered most. How could I have known every drop of blood would be treated like waste? "So, you were lying to us." A hot anger burned inside me. Ava carelessly tossed the container aside. "You were too dumb. Faking leukemia helped me gain followers and win back Mom and Dad's love. We're both Wilson daughters. Why should you have it easy while I suffer in an orphanage? I'm taking back what's mine. Only one of us can live." Ever since Ava's return, I'd faded from my parents' view unless they needed blood. Ava's brave leukemia survivor story made her a popular figure, while I seemed just ordinary. Swiping her hand, I decided, "We're telling Mom and Dad everything. I'm done being your blood bank." "Oh my God, Linda, what have you done? Where's all the blood from?" Startled, Mom stood in the restroom door with a washcloth. "Sister, even if you hate me, you didn't have to pour your blood down the toilet," Ava said, morphing into a pleading figure, scooping the floor's crimson liquid. "Mom, look at Ava. She's trying to ruin me," Ava wailed, collapsing dramatically on the floor. My mom instantly turned into a protective mama bear, glaring at me. "Look at your sister. Can't you see her suffering? How can you be so heartless?" She jabbed a finger at my forehead when I stayed silent. I lowered my head and chuckled coldly. "Yeah, that's right. Who cares about me being unfairly drained for her?" Recalling all the blood I'd donated to Ava in vain, I pulled her up from the floor, determined to put an end to her lies. "Admit it. You're not sick. You don't need my blood." I shook her shoulders, ready to drag her out for a medical check to prove it once and for all. Ava looked at me with a mocking smile, taunting me. A wave of anger crashed over me, and I grabbed her neck. "I can't believe I didn't see through you sooner." With a scream, her face turned pale, and she passed out. My mom rushed to my side, slapping me hard. A metallic taste filled my mouth. "Are you trying to kill your sister? The blood donation this afternoon will happen as planned. Ava doesn't get well, and you don't leave the hospital," she yelled, summoning doctors. I stumbled out of the bathroom, stunned. My mom had never spoken harshly to me before. I used to be their little princess. Whenever I wanted something, my parents always tried to give it to me. When did that change? I woke up from a nap, my heart racing. The reality hit me. I had been reborn as the eldest daughter of the Wilson family. No longer the pitiful Linda, manipulated and miserable in a past life. My desk mate nudged me. "Linda, did you hear? City leaders are visiting next week, and the school's holding a motivational talk. You're speaking since you're super popular. It might be on TV." Of course, I remembered. That motivational talk led to a year of online harassment, and even forced me to drop out, all thanks to Ava. Afterward, she teamed up with Robert for a fake romance narrative, basking in the limelight. This time, I was actually looking forward to it. "Linda, I saw your sister sneaking into the makeup room just now. She's not even speaking at the event," my classmate Chi grumbled before makeup. Ava's tricks were pitifully predictable. But once the drama starts, there's no stopping it. Smirking, I applied the itching powder to my neckline. Ava, you want a show? I won't disappoint you. As soon as I stepped out, there was a buzz among the crowd. The audience was filled with city leaders and fans I'd helped before. Seeing the light in their eyes, I found my purpose in this life. Please welcome our motivational speaker, Linda. Just as I took the stage, Ava, in a gorgeous gown, grabbed the mic. She struck a pose in front of the cameras, interrupting the event before anyone could react. Hello everyone, I'm Linda's sister Ava. You know what a leech is? Well, the person you admire is a real-life leech. A parasite living off my blood. I've had enough of being her blood bank. Yet my sister never misses a chance to take from me. I watched her performance with cold detachment. Flaunting misery in a stunning dress wasn't wise. Dear sister, if I remember correctly to date, you've only donated blood to me once. That time, no matter how much pleaded, you refused. I took over the mic, wiping fake tears. Ava's look faltered, recalling how she had been forced by our parents to donate blood. She stormed towards me, but her heels snapped, sending her flying into me. I landed hard at the edge of the stage, a long gash on my leg oozing blood. During the chaos, I pretended to struggle for air, scratching my neck frantically, as everyone rushed to help. I woke up again in the all-too-familiar hospital bed. Ava's cries echoed faintly. Smirking, I savored my small victory. With this blood loss, Ava was in for more than a surprise. Linda, you don't deserve to live. Oh, but I do if being a leech means making up for just a fraction of the pain you caused me in another life. Satisfied, I checked my phone's news headlines. The broadcast was over, and comments poured in online. Ava is so cruel to her sister. I heard she put itching powder in the makeup. Looks like she wanted her sister gone to inherit the Wilson fortune. Refusing to donate, then slandering her sister as a leech. So selfish and heartless, same school, we gotta protect Linda. Ava doesn't deserve peace. Ignoring the painful scar on my leg, I was undaunted. This grand display is just what you wanted, my dear sister. Much like I, twice avenged, Ava was driven to drop out after her online humiliation. Day after day, she clamored about not giving me blood until her true nature was revealed. In turn, our parents kept her under watch at the hospital. Little did I know, Robert was also a player in this game. The same evening of my release, I'd narrowly avoid a kidnapping attack. After being drained for Ava, I had stumbled into a group of thugs. That was the day Robert conveniently entered my life like a hero. Though it was all part of the plan, a move to get close to the Wilson family's eldest daughter. Even the gang was a gift from Ava. If lucky, Linda would vanish without a trace, making Ava the sole heir. If not, I'd survive, but in shame. But in my past life, I never imagined Robert eavesdropping on my plan and staging a perfect hero save the day scenario. This time around, I'm the one with all the fans and attention. Robert's probably itching to cozy up to me now. I recognized the familiar alley and walked in without hesitation. Hey guys, is this the girl? Not bad looking. We got paid a ton to off her. Might as well have some fun first. In the shadowy alley, there were 4 or 5 thugs with lewd expressions. As one of them reached out for me, I counted. 1, 2, what are you guys doing? As expected, Robert appeared behind me. He pulled me to safety, presenting the heroic backside that once made my heart race. But now my feelings were cold as ice. After all, in my last life, the ones who caused my death weren't just Ava. Linda, take my phone and find Mr. Wilson. Tell him I saved you in the alley, and to send help right away. Hearing this from him in my last life, I stood by his side, shielding him from incoming blows. This time I grabbed the phone and ran. As Robert stood there shocked, I dashed out of the alley without looking back. While hearing the sounds of sticks hitting, I calmly dialed 911 from the number Robert set up before. Sorry, officer, my brother dialed by mistake. Across the street from the alley, in a cafe, I watched the scene unfold quietly. Robert got knocked down by those guys, blood foaming from his mouth. Another thug picked up a nearby brick and slammed it on his leg. Red blood and some yellow fluid leaked from under his leg. TSK, those legs are probably done for. Watching Robert fall unconscious, I dialed 911 again. Robert was taken to the hospital where Ava was. When I went with my parents to visit my sister, I happened to pass by Robert's room. He called out to me, "Linda, you're safe. I'd sacrifice my life to protect you," he said sincerely, although his eyes flicked toward my dad. "The familiar play begins, Dad. This is a classmate of ours. He fell down some stairs recently and messed up his leg and brain. Now he wants to hug anyone he sees," I chirped sweetly, clinging to my dad's arm. Robert's face turned red. "Linda, what are you saying? I got hurt saving you. Now that I'm like this, your Wilson family should take responsibility. Is every injured person in the hospital the Wilson family's responsibility? Remember, we're not a charity. Also, are we that close? Stop calling me Linda. It's making my skin crawl." Watching Robert almost faint from anger made me smile in satisfaction. Dad wrapped an arm around my shoulders. "Linda, stay away from him. His head isn't right, and he might accidentally hurt you." I playfully stuck my tongue out at Dad. Trading 2 legs for my life in a past life, what a bargain for him. After this incident, I focused on preparing for college entrance exams. After all, having another chance at life, I should cherish everything, help the poor, and punish the wicked. Mom mentioned Ava was also studying for exams in the school district's house. After being shamed online, she couldn't focus on school anymore. As a daughter of the Wilson family, she'd definitely aim for a top university to have a shot at inheriting the family business. This is Ava's last shot. She won't let it slip away. The day before the college entrance exams, Mom said Ava called, swearing she'd never give up until the last moment. She'd get into a top university and bring honor to the family. But as I headed home with my backpack, I ran into a supposed at-home studying Ava right on the street. It had been a while. She sported dirty braids and dark smoky makeup, holding a half-smoked cigarette. Turns out, her home studying was just an act for her parents. Ava was already hanging out with a questionable crowd. Her aspirations for a top university were laughable. In my last life, Ava unsurprisingly didn't make it. Although she forced me to drop out, I studied hard and got into a decent college. She was super jealous, teaming up with her shady friends to change my application to a notorious trade school. She's not getting her way this time. Linda, that bitch. I can't go home or back to school because of her. If I see her, I'll cut her face. Let's see how she stirs up lies online. Ava ranted before noticing me. "Hey, sister," I greeted sweetly, turning to run away. "Get her." Ava shrieked at the nearby boys. It didn't take long before they caught up to me. I knew today, things looked grim. Falling into Ava's hands never ended well. Before coming back to life, I remembered clearly. Ava saw Dad give me a pearl necklace for doing better at the end-of-year exams. She went mad with jealousy. That night, she accidentally tripped while bringing me dessert and fell down the stairs. That fall filled me with guilt, making me donate blood for her daily for a month, until I eventually died in the hospital. They forced my head to kneel before Ava. She pressed a burning cigarette into my scalp, the burnt smell reaching my nose. "Sister, where you headed? Exams are tomorrow. You better not run off," Ava taunted. This reminded me of our first meeting, seeing her bully another girl in the orphanage. Anything Ava wanted, she'd go to any lengths to get. In my last life, thinking Ava had suffered at the orphanage, I let her have her way in life when she came home. I gave up everything for her. But she was never satisfied. Not just wanting the Wilson business, she wanted me gone for good. "We come from the same root. Why are you so eager to harm me?" She pulled out a sharp knife from behind and waved it in front of me, smiling. "Sister, is my blood serving you well? Well, today I'm gonna see if you can survive without a transfusion after I bleed you out. Tomorrow is the college entrance exam. I've heard it's good luck to bleed someone out before the exam. Dear sister, help your little sister get some luck." Ignoring my struggles, she cut a deep gash across my face, and blood instantly dripped down my cheek. "Oh dear, you're bleeding a lot, sister. Your little sister will stop it for you." Then she cut my thighs and arms with the knife, leaving marks. I couldn't forget. In my last life, Ava did exactly this, used a scalpel to cut me to death. Was this life going to end at her hands too? I fought back hard. "Kill me. If you dare, just kill me." Ava, just like before, finally smiled and raised the knife towards my heart. Bang! Ava collapsed beside me. Before I passed out, I saw the police quickly surround the scene. I touched the text message and automatic location I had sent earlier. Luckily, I'd prepared and the police arrived just in time to witness Ava's deadly blow towards me. Everything was going according to my plan. On the way to the hospital, I dreamed of Ava talking with her friends at the school's sink. Why do you hate your sister so much, Ava? After all, she's your twin. Ava glanced towards the Wilson family's group, with malice in her eyes. Born into a family like this, what does being a twin matter? Only one can inherit. It's either her or me. Waking up in the hospital, I looked at my fingerprint, amazed I was still alive. The door opened and a crowd rushed in. When I recognized them, tears welled up. These were patients I'd helped save. Linda, are you okay? My mom held my hand gently. Remembering how she'd been swayed by my sister in our past life made tears fall. You scared us while you were unconscious. Thankfully, someone you helped matched your blood type and donated. See, karma is real. Linda, thank goodness you're all right. People crowded me with flowers, their eyes full of worry. In my past life, no one believed or supported me. This time, life had given me a second chance to find love. Once my emotions settled, I asked what had been on my mind. Mom, where is Ava? My mom looked pained. Linda, you suffered and Ava is facing her own consequences. She went down a path of no return. It turned out, when the police arrived, they couldn't save me in time except by temporarily shooting Ava with a tranquilizer. Ava was sentenced to 7 years for attempted murder. When everyone left, I laughed up at the ceiling. Karma never fails. Tears slipped down as I remembered clinging to Mom as a child. Mom, all the other kids have siblings. Why doesn't Linda? Mom would tear up and reply, Linda has a sister who got lost trying to find her way home. I'd wipe her tears with my tiny hands. Linda will put lots of night lights out so sister finds her way back. Linda will be a great sister and love her sister well. After all this, it seemed I had missed the college entrance exam. Many fans pleaded with the education department to allow me a special entry. I declined. Missing a year of exams is worth it if Ava receives the punishment she deserves. The next year, after the exam, I got into a top-notch university in the country. The day before school started, I visited Ava. She had gone completely mad in prison. For an 18-year-old prime youth, it's a wonderful time. But Ava would spend it in jail. I had no sympathy. Everyone must pay the price for their actions. This wasn't just for now, but also for my past life. Through the bars, she held a fake knife, carving wood. I'll bleed you dry, one slash at a time. I should have gone for your heart first. With no remorse, I flaunted a custom-made bag with my initials. Sister, thanks to you. This life I gained thousands of followers, my parents' love, and got into a prestigious school. Soon I'll inherit the Wilson Group. Oh, and my leukemia? Experts say it's cured. I'll live long and healthy. She glared as if wanting to kill me. Hearing leukemia, she suddenly crumbled, shaking in a corner. Leech. No, don't suck my blood. Leech, you're a blood-sucking demon. I chuckled indifferently, left without a second glance. My path ahead was bright and promising. Looking back at the dark prison, I brushed my hair. Sister, you won't see such sunny days again. The end.